Alright, time now is 10:50 a.m. on May 2nd. So, I slept from 3:30 to 10:10, and then I realized I didn't have to wake up this early, so I slept back, and then until 10:40. But yeah, so, today's a Tuesday, which means that I have photo too. Yeah, so last night I sort of ran out of time again. I did end up watching 2 episodes of Beef, which is pretty good. Um, and I did sweep the floor and trim my nails and do finish the laundry. I One of the reasons why I slept so late yesterday is because I had to watch 2 episodes of Beef while waiting for my shower towels to dry. And I did finish editing a Japan vlog, and I'm 2 videos away from finishing my Japan series until the actual series starts. Um, but I actually made some progress. But the thing is, last night I checked my phone and everything, and I realized, holy shit, May 5th is the deadline for a student showcase for Film Club, which means that I have basically 4 days left to finish Love and Death, which is absolutely fucking insane. Now, of course, because I know Kat and Betsy, so it's okay if I submit it a little late. So let's say I submit it about 5 days late. That gives me about 9 days. Um, so hopefully I get to finish the whole thing until then, which seems crazy. And last night I got a little anxious about it. But when I made Cloud Busting, I was sort of, running against the deadline as well. I had like a week to finish the final cut and the sound issue and like literally everything, you know. I had like about, you know, I had about a week to finish Cloud Busting. So I'm sure if I really put my mind to it, I can finish Love and Death in 9 days. I really hope so. Also subtitles, I can just add English subtitles. The Chinese subtitles take so long because I can't type Cantonese. I can type Chinese in Pinyin, but I'm not like an expert in it. That I would have to ask Leslie. But yeah, essentially there's that. Now another thing is writing Divergent because I wanted to finish it before tomorrow so that I could really let myself go and really move on with love and everything and life and whatever. And I'm so close to finishing it. I'm like one scene away from finishing it. To finishing version 2 of The Virgin, I'm like one freaking scene away. So, yeah. Yeah, hopefully there's that. And again, there's the Japan vlogs that I need to finish ASAP. There's a bunch of other stuff that I have to do today as well. Reviews, whatnot. I'm hitting my 1000th album review. Like, I'm talking about the 1000th album. And the thing is, I want to review something special, and I only found out about that yesterday. But then I don't have the time to listen to it enough to do a review on it, so I'll just try to react to it later. And then on top of that, for script writing club, because as the VP, I have a responsibility to also show off my script, my own script. So, I have to type out my own script, and I don't want to use the Virgin. I don't want people to see the Virgin script because it's too sensitive and they'll laugh at me. So I want to do my other story idea, World of Shadows, which is an idea that I've been thinking about in the last few days, like in terms of how it's going to be a short film script. World of Shadows, so I have that to work on. So essentially, the idea I originally planned for Film 33. Um, but yeah, essentially there's that. And then I'm just, and I'm also going through eBay from time to time to look at Sigma lenses prices. Once I find a open box Sigma lens, um, that is relatively cheap, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Um, yeah, because I really want myself a Sigma lens. I really dream of getting one. So yeah, and I also may as well bring my Sony A7 III to CMD this Thursday. I think that would be fun. But yeah, not much else. I had a pretty crazy dream. It's not vivid, like I don't remember it that well, but I remember first of all I remember upsetting Professor Cuccio. I was on a bed with him. And I was getting scared and I had to eat tacos. I was hungry and then I accidentally dripped some taco sauce, more like taco juice, on the bed, like one driplet, and he got mad and I'm like, okay, I'll fix it, I'll fix it. So I grabbed some tissue paper, got some soap on it and wiped it down, make sure everything clean. But I upset him and it takes so little to upset him. And then at some point I was like all over the map, like all over the place in the dream, and I was fighting people and I wanted to ride a bicycle, but I was scared that some of the kids will steal it. So I tied the bicycle onto a pole with like a white strap, like a white plastic strap. Um, yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's the only two things I remember from the dream. Oh, there's another. I remember a woman whom I've never seen before, and she's like really dangerous. Yeah. All right, time now is 8:32 p.m. Yeah, I'm extremely tired. Holy crap. So let's talk about the first half of the day, then I'll move on with dinner time. So, woke up, did a couple reviews, um, and then I even had the time to freaking film the last scene that I had to film for my short film Love and Death, which I've been procrastinating to do so for like a whole month already. So I finally filmed it on my own laptop. Um, and yeah, now I got all the footage I need. I'm gonna edit it tonight, which is quite nice. And then I left. I took the first bus and I took the second bus. And originally I can arrive on time at the campus, but of course, because there's traffic jam and because Los Angeles is an amazing city, I couldn't arrive until like 3 p.m. when the class starts at 2:45. So yeah, I arrived at the class, and everyone's here except for Professor Antonio. But we basically have nothing to do, just keep printing photos. So because at 5 p.m. I have a Zoom meeting to catch. So at around 4:05, I spoke with Alba a little bit, spoke with Pepper and Potter a little bit, but at around 4:05, I returned everything, I got everything back, and I fucking left. I just up and left. And I wanted to tell the professor that, but I also kind of wanted to just sneak away and not really say a word. But yeah, a couple of interesting interactions though is Pepper's getting friendly to me again. I feel like I built a lot of character because I and Pepper went through, being yelled at in the HKOS Film Festival and whatever. Like we went through something, so I think it really built character. So today, like in the middle of developing the film, like Pepper asked me if the shiny side of the film negative points up or points down when we slide it in the negative carrier, and I said it points up. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, a bunch of people just texting me. Um so yeah, when Pepper can just ask Alba in English or ask Potter, but Potter wasn't there at that point. I don't know. Another thing is Alba asked me if I could edit her short film Ray's Hand because the guy who was originally going to edit for her, Yugo, went back to Japan to work because he ran out of money. And so Alba, for the longest time, for the last couple of semesters, for the entirety of the, I guess, last semester, or for the last maybe half a year, Alba thought, okay, I'm gonna edit it myself. But Alba just finds it really tedious. She has a lot of other stuff to do, so she asked me if I'm free to edit. And I said, okay. I mean, I'm not super free nowadays. I got my own editing stuff, my own short film. I'm working on Script. I got Film 33, and then in the summer I have like 4 short films to help out with. So I don't really know, but I'll try my best since it's Aoba, and I would get a pretty cool credit for being an editor. So there was that. Um, yeah. Not much else. And if I get to edit, I can also edit the end credit sequence. I mean, actually, she could have asked Cliff, but I'm sure Cliff is just as busy. Um, so yeah, I said yes, and then that's it. I went back home and I arrived pretty much on time. I washed my face and everything, and then I went to the Zoom meeting, which went all the way from 5 something, like 5:10 to like 7:20 p.m. It was really freaking long. So the actresses didn't come in until 5:30, so it's just me and Leslie just staring at each other. And then she ate a burger. She didn't eat breakfast, she didn't eat lunch, and she door dashed some McDonald's, and she ate half a burger, and then she heated up the other half, and that's all she ate today. Like, poor soul. It's how dramatically sad your life is. Like, goddamn. But we're just like staring at each other, and she showed off a little bit of her room, like her closet, and I showed off a little bit of my room, and she said my room looked like a hotel room. Her room is like also just like a regular room. It has a closet, it has a door, it has a poster, and yeah, she said my room looks like a hotel room, which is true. I don't put up anything on my room. It's like I don't really care, because boys' rooms be like. But yeah, her room is a mess. Like, she showed me a little bit of her ground, and it's like a bunch of trash, a mattress, and like her jacket on the floor. Like, her room is so much more of a mess. I just want to go there and help her clean it up or something. But yeah, the actresses come on, and it's a Taiwanese girl and another girl, a woman who is apparently born in Guangzhou, and Cantonese is like her first language. But she speaks way better English than Cantonese. Like, her Cantonese has a very heavy American accent. So we went through the script like maybe 6, 7 times. When we did it with John L, when I did it with John L, it was like once or twice, per session. But Leslie really did it like 7 freaking times. And I really tried my best. So Leslie handled the girl's Mandarin and for acting. I handled the other woman's Cantonese. You know, and at some point Leslie was like a primary school teacher. Like, she would say a line in Mandarin, and then the girl would say another line. And that girl also has kind of an English accent, kind of an American accent, but I can't tell as much as I am able to tell that the woman speaks Cantonese with an American accent. But yeah, and then Angel, the producer, is just like there with camera off and just listening the whole time, which is really funny. But yeah, we went through it all, and I think at first is a little awkward, but as we keep rehearsing, it got better and better and better. Leslie was really confident. She acted all confident, like, oh, this is what the script is about, blah, blah, blah. And I think the actresses seemed to be able to handle it really well. And, I gave positive comments. I nitpicked a little bit, but overall, I thought it's pretty great and it would work out. And so it ended, and Leslie's like, Jesus Christ. And every 40 minutes, the Zoom meeting dies. So we end up having 3 Zoom meetings because Leslie's using this free trial for Zoom. So every 40 minutes, it automatically closes. So it's so funny. And Leslie would just text me, Jesus. And then, and then at the end, at around 7:20, both actors left. And I and Leslie stared at each other a little bit more. And apparently, I thought the Cantonese-speaking woman would, be like a stand-in for Tony Leung. But as it turns out, Leslie has more of a Leslie Jung in her mind, like Leslie Jung in Days of Being Wild. And I told her I haven't even seen it, and she's like, "What? How could you? How could you? How have you not seen it?" So she told me she's gonna force me to watch it, which I like. I want Leslie to force me to do things. That's so cool. And then I told her, well, if you force me to watch a movie, then I'll have to force you to watch one too. And she's like, that's okay. And a little bit later, she continued to WhatsApp me and ask me if I'm free on Thursday because she wants to watch Network by Sidney Lumet at Arrow with me. And I said, well, I got Film 33. And she's like, bro, it's like right, it's Film 33 would have ended by then. And I'm like, oh, but I got Script Writing Club. And she's like, but Script Writing Club would have ended by then. So I don't know, maybe I'll go to Arrow Theater with her again this Thursday to watch Sidney Lumet's Network. I'm not even that interested in watching it. I'm just watching it because it's with her. And I also told, like, Leslie inviting me to watch a movie. But also it's a great opportunity because I can speak to the Arrow Theater people themselves because they're not responding to my freaking email. I can speak to them and actually talk to them about possibly filming, because of Film 33. I told Leslie that I have something to tell her. You know what I'm going to tell her? I'm going to tell her that I lied. I've actually found someone. I'm actually in love with someone. And I told her that I have something to tell her, but I'm not going to tell her. And then she panicked, not panicked, but like she just called me on WhatsApp and she immediately canceled the call. And then I said, well, and she said, just tell me now. And I said, no, it's not related to Film 32 or 33 at all. Just focus. I'll tell you tomorrow night or maybe Thursday night. Okay, Okay, I'm gonna eat dinner now. Rice, carne asada, beef, fucking broccoli. That's it, I guess. Let me think if I can add anything more to that. That seems boring as hell. At least I'm eating better than fucking Leslie. She told me that this morning she spent a whole morning like doing lighting and all that stuff at CMD from 10 a.m. and she drank like alcohol in the morning. Like she's just such a fucking mad woman. No storage space. Okay, this is gonna be quick. Time now is 10:20. Yeah. Fuck it. Let's store space. Hold on. All right. Time now is 12:18 after midnight on May 3rd. Yeah, I'm just really freaking tired. Yeah, I don't know. Today's a pretty interesting day, I think. Um, Aoba asking me to edit her short film, but Aoba later told me on Instagram that she found out that she actually has time to edit her short film, so that's that. And then of course, okay, Cliff's texting. Um, and then a Zoom meeting with Leslie again. Like today, seeing Leslie's room is another huge like benchmark in our relationship. I feel like even though when Leslie told me about her love story with that other girl, it's basically like the end of the world. It's basically the end for me. Like I can't go any further other than being close friends. But I feel like there's at the same time also a lot more space. Like there's still a lot more about her that I don't know, and there's a lot about me that she doesn't know. So there's still so much possibility. So we'll see. She asked me if we could watch a network together at Arrow Theater on Thursday, and then I just asked her if we can watch Pedicab Driver, the Sammo Hung film, at the Academy Museum on Friday. Uh, and then she didn't respond. And then of course they're screening 2001: Space Odyssey at CMD, like a friends hangout thing. So we're just asking each other to hang out and watch movies. Yeah, I hope this goes further. Again, I look like somewhere in between a skinny loser idiot and like a perverted guy, with this mustache. But then I also like this look, like not the hair. I'm beginning to be really sick of it. So I look terrible. I look awful. I don't know. I look forward to tomorrow's insane scene, tomorrow's insanity. I'm gonna have to wake up at 7. Um, so that's that. Leslie's freaking out. Apparently, she cried because of the fish. But really, I know it's more than the fish. She had to buy a fish, a Siamese fighting fish, for her scene, and she named it 988 because one of her favorite pieces of music is like BMV 988, like some classical musical piece or something. So she named the fish 988. And she was freaking out because she thought the fish would die, because the fish would like freeze and it would not move. And turns out it's like not warm enough, so she placed a hot blanket into the water, and now the fish is moving around again. So that's that. And she cried. But I told her, I understand that. Like almost every time before I make a short film, I also cry. Like that's like a tradition at this point. I think okay, the night before or actually not the night, but like before when I made Dreams of an Empty Street and the producer like put me in a group chat with a bunch of other actors, I came to the realization that holy shit, I'm actually making a short film, and I started freaking out and crying, and I think I didn't cry at all when I made Cloud Busting and My Bloody Valentine, and I think I didn't cry at all for like my latest short film Love and Death. I was just really worried. I was just really really scared and anxious and stressed the whole time. But I remember like before Information Blackout, like I just cried because it's just so ridiculous. Like the idea of me making a short film and that these people are like listening to me now is just such a ridiculous thing. It's such a ridiculous idea. Of course, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I have the ability to lead people. Now that I've been VP of Script Writing Club and I'm location manager and whatever, and I'm helping people doing this and doing that. But like back then, it's such a crazy idea. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have no storage space, even though I spent a like, good chunk of this morning being very productive. I think I'm gonna run out of time. I don't think I have the time to watch. I don't think I have the time to watch a film tonight. Um, and yeah, and I still got to edit some Japan, edit some college update. I gotta finish um The Virgin. I gotta edit Love and Death. There's so much on my plate right now. Oh, I got the college homework. It's just nonstop. So really there's that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know. I have so many thoughts about Leslie now. That is like I still like her a lot. She told me she had diarrhea. Like come on, please don't tell me that. But yeah, she's so different from Natalie and Mary. I guess she's more similar to Natalie than she is to Mary. But because Mary's not like I don't think she's that mentally disturbed. Natalie's really mentally disturbed, and Leslie isn't close to being as like quirky as Natalie is. Or at least as far as I know right now. But yeah, yeah. I still and I don't feel like I don't feel I don't know. I just it's not that crazy. Like when I see her and when I hang out with her and when I talk to her, it's not like I'm going insane, you know? As opposed to if I see Mary and I said hi, I would be so stressed. Um but at the same time I really want to like speak to her. I really want to be around her. I really want to like hang out with her more and know her more, and I just don't know how to approach it. I'm just scared that I'm not edgy enough. I just feel like I've lost my edge. Like a few years ago, I would make so many suicidal Instagram stories and nobody would care because nobody reads them. Um again, like I don't know, I just feel like I've lost my edge and I'm not that negative of a person anymore. Like I'm fine speaking to people. You know, I feel okay nowadays. I just don't feel that bad. I don't even have insomnia. Like I actually feel sleepy at night. Like coming to LA sort of fixed my insomnia. It's just I don't even need sleeping pills anymore. Like from time to time I have terrible sleep. Like I would wake up randomly. Like this morning I actually woke up randomly at around 9 and I thought, "Oh wow, I need to go. Oh wait, never mind. I need to go. I can go back to sleep." But like I can fall asleep pretty quick every single night. Um like I'm not leading that bad of a life right now. I mean, the food sucks. But like other than that, it's actually okay. I don't know. I really don't know. I also texted Kat today asking her a little bit about the student showcase thing on May 20th. Let's do. All right. So time now is 7:08 a.m. in the morning um on May 3rd. So today's a Wednesday, and this means I slept from 3:30 to 7 a.m. That is 3.5 hours. That's right. So today is a Wednesday, which means that I have photo one class. But I am going to ditch it. Instead, I'm going to spend the next about 10 hours or so at CMD to help out Leslie for her scene as a script supervisor. I guess the time has come. It has come to a point where I have to work for the girl I like. Again, like, I don't know, part of me is just thinking, like, holy shit, I have arrived at this point. You know, this is like, back in secondary school, say Mary wants to do a project and she asks for my help. That's so fucking crazy. That's so ridiculous. But it's actually happening. It's just such an insane jump from what I did and what I had in the past. So that's that. Um yeah, I ran out of time last night. I didn't watch a film. I also didn't really have time to edit my college video or do any college homework. Um I edited my short film a little bit. I'm close to finishing, like 3 more scenes and then I'm done with the first cut. And then The Virgin, I'm like 2 scenes away. I looked at the plot outline and I realized I have 4 more scenes to sort of modify, I guess. So last night I modified 2 more scenes. I really got to finish it today. Like the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking so hard. Um, or so it does. Like, what if Leslie doesn't like me back? Other, you know, anyways, I am just a stupid guy with a little mustache. Like, you know, Leslie probably doesn't think I'm a hot guy, which is true because I'm not hot, and look at me, I'm a fucking idiot. Um, but I hope at least I could show some of my edginess and darkness to her and impress her. And she can show some of hers to me, and we would really get along that way. Yeah. I don't know. At some point, I'll have to confess to her. Right? At around May, like mid May, and then we would have 1 month left in the entire semester. If I do that, and then plus summer, but I'm just gonna transfer around in the summer. So I have no idea. But I do really want to hang out with Leslie more often in the summer. Just me and her. I don't know. That would be dream come true. I want to visit her apartment. The same way Pepper invited me to her apartment, I want to visit Leslie's apartment. That would be a breakthrough. And then I want her to visit mine, which is absolutely like garbage apartment, but you know, it's got style. But yeah, 3.5 hours is extremely tiring, and the fact that I have to sleep just a little tomorrow is very bad. I really need to sleep earlier tonight. Yeah, but today's gonna be fun.
It's a lot.
I get some help. Can you
Yes.
use this light?
So Friday, make sure you include the necklace, please. And write a little bit more.
Oh, what's happening?
Water, and then use the hot.
嗰陣時講真話好啲，第二啲人以為你講大話咁，你自己贏咯。哦，对吗？如果你不那个嘛，它在这上面。对。And look at the camera，就是那个彩。
So Friday can operate easier. Zoe.
Yeah. Oh no. Sure. No, you have 5 minutes to gonna. You know where
这什么磁带？喺街上面執翻嚟㗎。我阿爺有個 Sony 磁帶機，好撚正啊！你總是說兩件不同的是一樣。終於諗到好聽嘅説話啦！仲有什麼啊？我想同你一齊瞓，因為你真係好靚女。狗屁！咁你醜樣啊？一樣嗎？係啊，一模一樣。你想你是個騙子？唔係，呃人唔好嘅。即係咧玩啤牌嗰陣時，講真話好啲，第二啲人以為你講大話，咁你咪自己贏咯。
Alright, time now is 10:19 p.m. on May 3rd. So yeah, there's quite a bit to talk about today. There's quite a lot to think about, chew on. Let's get it started by saying that I slept for 3.5 hours. I am tired as fuck. Yeah, I actually, I woke up at 7. I didn't go back to sleep. I just don't want to. Like, I'm taking this really seriously, I'm taking this more seriously than my own Film 33. Like, if I'm a little late tomorrow, it's fine. They don't even need me. But I can't be late for this one. I'm Film 33. This is Film 32. I'm like the superior. So I arrived at 8 a.m., maybe like 8:05. Not 8:05, like 8:03. It was a little awkward at first because the soundstage door isn't open, and there are about maybe 6 people, 7 people who are already there, including Leslie. And I basically stayed from 8 a.m. to freaking 7 something p.m., 11 hours. So, um, yeah, for the most part, I didn't speak with Leslie because Leslie's the director, and I can tell how stressed out she is. But the thing is, this isn't like any new gigantic, like new levels of stress that Leslie has experienced. When Leslie DP'd, when Leslie was the gaffer, she was basically doing similar things. She's just running around talking and fixing the lights and the camera movements and whatever. But this time around, she's doing even more. She's also taking care of the acting, taking care of the set, the props, everything. So this isn't like a new level of stress, but this is probably the most stressful thing she has done. And apparently last night at 2 a.m., she woke up in the middle of the night to check if the fish is still alive. Mr. 988, which is the name of her fish. And she cried because of the fish. Like, this is a huge deal. Like, this fish is such a huge deal. So yeah, it was a little awkward at first because I don't belong here. And, usually when I'm scouting for PAs, for the last 2 Wednesdays, I would just come in all black, and I'll just snoop around, and it's like nice and relaxing. People don't really mind it. But now that I'm coming in for the full experience, and I'm helping moving the flats, and I helped Tracy, this black guy, moving the gigantic window flat, which is super heavy. It felt a little awkward. Like, I don't really know most of the people here. I can't really talk to them. I just feel like I don't belong. But there are people like Tracy, the black guy, Aaliyah, the black girl. There's Ariel, the white woman. There is frigging a lot of other people that I can somewhat talk to and chat with a little bit. There's Sean, the Korean American. And I speak to them a little bit here and there, which is quite nice, I guess. But yeah, at first it's kind of awkward. And then also I thought I stole Ariel's job as scripty. And Ariel didn't arrive until way later because the actual beginning time for the class is 9 a.m. People just come here at 8 a.m. to set up things, And I thought Ariel's not coming. Turns out she is coming. And turns out she's still the scripty. It's just that there will be 2 scripties. I will be the one, taking care of the lines. Ariel will be the one who's doing the continuity. So thank God I don't have to take care of that, because would be a pain in the ass given the crazy amount of props we have today. So yeah, absolutely insane amount of props we have today, all the way from poker cards to cigarette butts to a lighter with an empty fuel tank, to cassette tapes and a cassette tape player, and mirrors. Like, there are 2 mirrors today, and the biggest prop of them all, a fishbowl with a Siamese fighting fish in it, aka betta fish. And Leslie was so scared that it's gonna die, and we had a specific fish wrangler. Like, one of the students turns out to be kind of a fish expert, and she saw the fish and she's like, oh yeah, there's definitely a problem. Like, the pH level of the water, the temperature of the water, the fact that the fish tank is too small. You can clearly tell that the fish is stressed. It's not moving a lot. It's shriveled. The skin of the fish has turned dark, and there are white scales. The fish is sick and stressed. And every single take, we're like, okay, is the fish dead? Is the fish dead? Because it's such a huge prop. So much so that someone actually bought a new fish. And it's the same betta fish, same brand, same species, same color. And for some reason, maybe it's just individuality problem, but the second fish we got was way better, like way more livelier and way more colorful. So there's that. Yeah, aside from that, the actors, the two actresses, the Mandarin speaking one, who was apparently born in the US, but her family's from Shanghai. Leslie told me that she has a Taiwanese accent. That's not true. She ain't from Taiwan. Even a Chinese girl can't tell. And then the girl who speaks Cantonese, who was born and raised in Guangzhou for the first 5 years and then came to the US. But they both came, and at first the girl from Guangzhou didn't recognize me, and then I said hi, and Leslie's like, "This is Enoch," and she's like, "Oh, I didn't recognize you." So again, at first a little awkward, but we got along really well. I joked around. I don't know why, but the more tired I am, the better is my sense of humor. So when I talked to Tracy, I just blasted jokes left and right. Like Tracy joked about Cardellini clamps, and he calls them Linda because of Linda Cardellini. I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know how to, like, I know how to pronounce Cardellini, but I always forget the name, so I just say tortellini. And then another thing is we were holding the window flat, and people are like, "Oh, sorry, we're making you to like holding up the flat," and I was like, "Oh, no worries, we'll just stand here for the next hour." Ken showed up, and I don't know what's going on with Ken, but he's really mad. Like something really ticked him off. Like he's just not in a good mood, and he looks dead inside. He looks mad, angry. Maybe it's because there's not enough communication in the art department, and Leslie's basically like doing all the art stuff herself. Yeah, essentially there's that. So it went on and on and on and on, and the actors came at 10:15, but we didn't start shooting until 11:50, and we were able to finish one shot, and then it's already like 2 p.m. or 1:50 p.m. and we had 30 freaking minutes to finish lunch. So I was a little scared. I know Leslie's probably gonna starve herself, and I wanted to follow other people. So I asked Ken what he's gonna do, and Ken said, "I'll probably just go to every table and eat the cafe shit." I don't want to eat the cafe shit, but I guess I have no other choice. So I went out, and turns out some of the people in the camera department, this woman by the name of Franny, this short, maybe Latina woman, and Sean, the Korean American, and a couple other people like grouped up and was like, "Okay, I'm gonna order McDonald's and bring you guys all the food. You can like Zelle me, Venmo me later." So that's what I did. I joined in, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And Sean was like, "Oh, come on, join in. Don't worry." And I'm like, "Okay, quarter pounder meal with medium Coke, like the most normal thing I could get in McDonald's." And then 10 minutes later, I went outside the building to the little circle table immediately outside of the building, and there's like a small group of people chatting. And then I went to every table, and there's another small group of people chatting. Ken was there, a couple other people were there. And then I went to the green room beside the soundstage, and it's Leslie and Annalise, the first AD, basically talking about canceling a couple of shots because there's no way in hell are we going to be able to make it in time. And then finally, Franny comes here with the McDonald's, and my prediction was right. Leslie was going to starve herself. She ate, I don't know, maybe a croissant or something in the Crafty, which is great. They got Crafty, and Leslie ate like an orange, and that's it, like a tangerine or something. And I went to every table to the cafe, and I just sat down and I enjoyed my McDonald's meal. And beside me was, I forgot who it was beside me. I think it was Tracy opposite of me, and then like Ariel was nearby at some point, and then we just talked and chatted, and I just fit in quite nicely. It's just awesome that like I'm like an outsider. I speak Cantonese, I'm an international student, but then Sean just texted me. That's funny. I was just talking about him. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I just ate my McDonald's burger in silence. And then Leslie passed by and went to the back of the cafe and continued enjoying her orange while laying down on the couch, like a cool model. And I swear she looked at me and I looked at her. And I wasn't like, oh my god, I looked at her and I immediately look away. No, like before, like 5 years ago, I would do that. Like nowadays, I would look at her and I would keep looking because I'm a madman. So I just kept. I didn't look at her for long, but I looked at her and she looked at me, and I smiled and like nodded a little bit maybe, and then I continued to speak to the people around me as if that look never happened. And then a little bit later, like Leslie just left. Some white guy ran up to her and was like, "Oh my god, it's you!" Later, like minutes before we had to return to the soundstage, I offered Leslie some of my French fries, and Leslie took the whole box and started like eating a lot. And then she gave it back to me and she said thank you. So that's quite nice. Again, this is like, I feel like I've reached like the peak intimacy between me and Pepper, and now I've reached the same level of intimacy between me and Leslie. Except Pepper's personality is different from Leslie's. I feel like Leslie's much more comfortable being intimate with people than Pepper is. So just because I'm peak intimate with Leslie right now doesn't mean shit. Okay, anyways, I digress. The second half of the day continues, and one shot after another after another. At some point, I don't have anything to do. Like the Cantonese speaking actress pretty much nails every single line. Of course, the pronunciation is not perfect, but she delivers them consistently. She delivers them with the right emotion and tone. I'm good. I have nothing to do. Like I walk up to them. I walk up to her and correct her a little bit here and there, and I was nice about it. Everyone's stressed. Like, you can tell everyone's fucking stressed. Like, Leslie's just really stressed, and both of the actresses, when they entered the set, they fumbled a little bit, but very soon they got used to everything, and both the actresses gained amazing chemistry, so that's great. Yeah, and then Carly randomly showed up. I was like, oh, what if Carly shows up? And then Carly shows up. And so I showed off a little bit. I spoke a little Cantonese in front of people, just a little bit, you know. And there's a guy, like during lunch, there's a white guy who's like, yo, dude, kind of Californian white guy with a backwards cap. And he's like, so they speaking in two different languages? And I'm like, yeah, one is Cantonese, one's Mandarin. And he's like, oh, so Cantonese is like mainland China and Mandarin is like Hong Kong, or is it the other way around? And I'm like, the other way around. And he's like, yo, that's so freaking cool. Like, I thought, like, this guy speaks 3 languages? That's crazy. Oh my god. So, something like that. At some point, I almost fell asleep on the black chair because I was so sleepy. I was, like, fishing, and Aaliyah saw me, and Aaliyah was also on the verge of falling asleep, and she was doing this. And she's right beside Professor Cuccio, and she tried to block herself from Cuccio so that Cuccio wouldn't notice. At some point, I was like literally right behind Cuccio, like 2 cm behind him, and I secretly took a photo of him. But yeah, pretty awesome, I guess, experience overall. Apparently, it's Leslie's first short film. Now, everything went kind of fine, and the second fish never died, not even stopped. It was totally healthy. We finally wrapped it around 6 p.m., and it was a hip hip hooray. And at that point, like half the class is already gone. Cuccio and Carly talked a little bit about locations and schedules for ends and means, which is a huge pressing matter right now. And I also joined in their conversation a little bit. But more importantly, Betsy, in the Discord group between me, her, and Thomas, Betsy asked me if I could ask Cuccio about the whole cafe situation. So long story short, yesterday, suddenly news broke out that there is a giant sign stuck on the door of the cafe. And the sign says, no filming or meeting is allowed in this cafe unless there's permission, which is really fucking weird. What the hell happened? And apparently it's related to how last Thursday, I think it was Brie or Tova who ran up to me and asked me if someone's filming in the cafe, and I said no, because truly nobody did. But apparently somebody did, and this triggered something, and Betsy wants to know what's going on, so Betsy asked me to ask Cuccio. So I'm like, sure. So I actually literally asked Cuccio. I found the right moment to ask him, and Cuccio was nice to me about it. Cuccio was like, oh yeah, I don't know what's going on, like, I recently received an email accusing me of letting my Film 33 students to film in a cafe, which is false. Like, why is it accusing me of things without asking questions? I'm quite upset about this, and I asked him if he thinks it's like from another class, and he's like, oh, I don't think so. So that's pretty weird. Anyways, the scene has wrapped, and Leslie said, I want to die and I want to kill myself maybe 12, 13 times already. And everyone's gone, and for some reason I'm suddenly hit with this huge melancholy. Not really melancholy, just helplessness, just like nothing, just coldness. Because I don't know, I just feel like I've never been this close to a girl I liked before. You know, Leslie would call out my name and she would like speak to me and chat with me, but like I just don't feel like my heart's gonna explode out of my chest when she's speaking to me. I feel fine. And that's weird and concerning. Like, what if my love for her is waning? What if I've waited too long? And also, you know, I teased towards her. I told her, oh, I have something to tell you. And I told her again today, and she's like, what? And I'm like, oh, I won't tell you. And she's like, okay. She's not curious? Come on, be curious. Let yourself be teased, please. But yeah, you know, at the end I was just sort of helpless, and we have 2 live fishes. Now what the hell are we gonna do with them? Leslie thought about like giving them to people. Sean picked up 1 fish, the healthy one. And then there's the dying one, and Leslie doesn't know what to do. We asked so many people and nobody wanted the fish. So Leslie actually thought of killing the fish. And I told her, please don't kill the fish. Please don't do it. And so Leslie thought, oh, what if we bring it back to the pet store? And I'm like, that's a fantastic idea. And we spoke with Drew about it, and Drew's like, oh, well, you can actually leave it here, but I wouldn't be able to feed it all the time because I'm busy, so you have to do it. And Leslie's like, oh, that's a terrible idea. Like, I would get anxiety attacks if I see the fish ever again. So that's that. Leslie and Annalise and me helped bring a bunch of props and stuff to Annalise's car, and the car is like filled up with stuff. So Annalise couldn't like drive me back to my home. Leslie thought Annalise could drive me back as well, but at the end that didn't happen. So I thought maybe I and Leslie could like hold a bowl of fish and just walk to the pet store, you know, and we would talk something more personal on the way, but that never fucking happened. And I felt nothing. So I just listened to music on the bus, went back home, cooked myself dinner, which is something I've never tried before. This ground beef, corn and peas, carrot and peas, tomato sauce thing, and it tastes pretty fantastic. It's pretty similar to the minced pork, potato, carrot and peas mixture that my help would make. It's pretty similar, not quite, but close enough. I wanted to narrate this cooking, but right when I was starting to cook, Candace and her boyfriend Michael came back, and they didn't say a single thing to me. Usually Michael, every time he sees me, he's like, whoa, what's up, my man? But he didn't do that, so whatever, fuck it. I'm too tired to like say anything. Anyways, so I cooked the dinner, et voila, here I am. I texted Leslie a little more. Turns out she didn't bring it back to the pet store. But she didn't kill the fish. She's letting the fish stay in her apartment for 1 night. And if the fish manages to survive tomorrow, she'll raise it. She'll buy a giant fish tank. She'll buy the fish food, whatever. She'll raise it. And I think that's a good idea. You know, that's like good memorabilia for her first short film. Time now is 1:31. I just had a 2.5 hour long Discord call with Michelle, which ruined my entire night. Again, I can't edit anything. I can't finish any homework. It's entirely ruined, which is great. Just want to add that I forgot to mention that the fish, 988, is like a physical manifestation of Leslie's mind, because it's like on the verge of death. It's always dying. But yeah, my conversation with Michelle continues to be interesting. She talks about how I not constantly, but I still sometimes surprise her. Like, I'm so much more layered, and like there's so much more underneath me. She said I'm like a soft cookie with a hard middle, which is a pretty good metaphor. But she also said I'm like a fly, as opposed to a murderer, because I'm not capable of murdering. Also, Betsy's talking shit about me. She said I'm not capable of making my own short films and Film 33, which is so bullshit. Come on, Betsy. Alright, so time now is 7:50. I have no source base. Wow. Time now is 7:50 a.m. on May 4th. Oh, it's Professor Antonio's birthday. That's funny. Yeah, I slept from about 2:30 to 7. Yeah, that's about 4.5 hours. I just slept a little more than that, but yeah, still, I'm surprised that I'm still alive. I didn't do anything last night. I completely ran out of time. I didn't watch a movie. I was about to, but I just gave up. I was like, well, it's already like 2 a.m. I don't want to stop in the middle of a movie, so I'm just not going to watch it. I didn't have time to edit my short film. I didn't have time to edit any of my Japan vlogs. I didn't have time to do any college homework because I'm just too tired to. I just didn't have time to do any of that. And I thought, okay, if there's one thing I can do is I can finish writing The Virgin. And I kid you not, I almost fell asleep writing The Virgin on my bed after taking a shower and everything. So I literally achieved nothing last night. So hopefully I would finish some of those things today. Yeah, today Film 33. Again, I'm happy that I can just chill somewhere. Like, I don't have to be on set all the time. I'm gonna bring my Sony a7 III camera, which is gonna be very exciting. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And then I'm going to hopefully, if Leslie wishes so, we go to the Aero Theater and hang out and watch Network together. Yeah. That would be really cool. If that's the case, then it would be the first time we hang out just for the sake of hanging out. So yeah, and then today I would probably tell her a little bit more personal shit. Yeah. But I forgot to mention that Jonathan wants to use a photo of me to be an album cover, which is really weird and random, but I mean, maybe, I don't know, I'll think about it. Because I do look really goofy in that photo. Also, my acne is coming back, so that's great. My storage space is completely gone, so that's great. Like, when I was gonna start filming, I could only have 38 minutes left. And I literally cleared my storage space last night. 38 minutes. Now it's 44 minutes left. But yeah, it's bullshit. I'm going to have to clear some storage space. And then I think that's it. I just really need to finish writing The Virgin. Holy crap. I've been saying that since January. And I keep pushing it back. Yeah, that's that. It's probably gonna rain a little bit today as well.
I think none of you guys know who Larry David is. You ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Oh, but that Curb No, but that would have been that part. Oh, right.
Yeah, okay. Alright, we'll see you.
I'll be is Bree with you guys?
No, just
Oops. It's pretty expensive what it is because the Kardashians ate here once. It was like, it used to be like not that bad.
And then
Like 10 years ago, yeah. Kardashians came here once, posted a selfie, and then the next day their prices had doubled.
I want this in my house.
Gotta go around this way.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That staircase
I like the grassy surface.
This gravel steps.
Shit, this place is full of mud. Now that's Mexican. This is so nice.
This is it.
Finally, Mexico.
Okay, that is owned by Matthew Keller. If you can maybe get in touch with him somehow.
So you got a location up.
Oh my, okay.
Will you be able to get back?
Easy hops.
Okay, just take some pictures over there. I'm not cutting it.
I need one more person.
Thomas, adventure time. Holy cow. Fuck. Shit.
Wait, am I like doing like did you get that?
I just want to go back.
Honestly.
Why not?
We're here anyway. Let's just check it.
Dude, it will take 0.5 seconds.
0.5. Okay. 0, half. That's it.
0.005.
That's even shorter.
I know, exactly. It's a joke.
It's yeah. Wait, I gotta pull out all of these seeds. Frick.
Senior center there.
Oh. Intriguing.
Hi, yeah, hi, how are you doing? So I'm a student at San Monica College, film with them. About an hour.
Okay, so. Anna too showed up.
Go. Hey, Albatros. What's going on? What's wrong? Talk to me. An incredibly wealthy baller who's gonna make my movie happen.
That man, that worthless piece of shit that you see out there, he killed my husband.
In our SMC merch. So imagine the students of SMC like at the writer's strike.
All right. Time now is 10:59 p.m. Let me wrap this up real quick. 1 sec. So I just finished dinner. So, okay, here's a recap of today. Today's a Thursday, which means that a lot of insanity has taken place today. It's an insane day full of ups and downs and twists and turns. Slept for 4 hours, 4.5, I think. It doesn't feel great at all. Arrived at school, arrived at CMD about 30 minutes late, 8:30. But at that point, like so many people in our class arrived late, and also so many people got sick today, which is a pretty interesting. Like Amy the Indonesian is sick, Red felt sick. A lot of people just felt sick, unfortunately. And also a lot of the people, I thought a lot of people would show up to PA. Turns out, the PAs are the three we got. Ariel from Wednesday, Simon from Friday, and friggin' this Brazilian guy named Alex who Bree brought in. Yeah, I'd say 95% of the time, I'm not even on the soundstage. 95. I whipped out my Sony a7 III and took photos. Birkin grabbed the camera and took a photo of me. I think Tova did a little as well, which I don't really mind at this point, but yeah, you know. But I only pulled it out, like took out the camera a little bit, not for long. Anyways, yeah, for the most part in today's class, I was just like, oh, it was raining this morning as well, which is so stupid, and it only rained in the morning, like a little bit, and for the rest of the day it never rained again. So I had to bring an umbrella, and I don't know where to put, because people in California don't experience rain that much, so they also don't have designated umbrella spots like usually buildings do in Hong Kong, you know, like an umbrella rack. So I have nowhere to put. I just placed it on the ground, and I actually forgot to take it back. But I'm not scared that I'm losing it at all, because I've lost my water bottle and like my notebook and my pens, and Betsy and Kat took it. Like, I know so many people in CMD that if I lose something randomly, it's gonna be taken. Like someone I know will have it and I'll be able to get it back. So I'm not like that anxious about it or anything. But yeah, Leslie didn't show up for a while, until at some random point she just showed up. I went upstairs, went to this time we went to room not the editing bay, but the room that I went in with Leslie to audition, the audition room. I'm gonna call it the audition room. So yeah, we went there, and it was really nice, cozy place, and everyone took out their laptops. Me, Bree, Tova, Berkan, Benny, Thomas, we just had our laptops and we just relaxed. And I was just there, and I just didn't really care. Like, of course, we have shit to do. We have tons of shit to do. We have 3 weeks left until shooting. And I'd say we're about 60 to 70% securing all the locations. So that's really huge breakthrough. But yeah, that's that. I also asked people to like sign in the Google form. And I asked Skylar, the first AD, to tell everyone to do the Google form thing. That's really interesting. But yeah, a lot of the times today, Benny is just like doing my job, basically. And to be fair, most of producing is locations, is finding locations. That's like, and also fundraising. So being the location manager, realistically, if I do the location managing and it's all solely me, it would have been too much workload. So I'm glad Benny's doing it, but I told Benny to take care of the churches and farmers market, so he did take care of the churches. And he also emailed Drew, and he started also taking care of Carly's mom's friend's house in Encino, the Encino house, and writing an email to Drew about the insurance and stuff, as if he's the location manager. And then he's also making phone calls, and like, he's doing my job. And I'm both happy about it, both not so happy about it. Like, I want it to be me, but also, if you want to take my workload and I can work less, sure, go ahead. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, essentially, there's that. I look terrible. Like my acne's coming back. Like my head, it's just, I look like a hammerhead shark. Like, it's just awful. I think it's just like, I don't know, just not getting enough sleep lately, maybe. But yeah, essentially there's that. So at some point, because today's May 4th, and it's also Professor Antonio and Liana's birthday at the same time. So Berkham bought fluffy cake for Liana, and then Benny, or actually Berkham bought a chocolate cake for Liana, and Benny bought a fluffy cake for Antonio. And we all met up, like during lunch break, we all met up at the cafeteria, and we celebrated both of their birthdays. So that's pretty epic. That's pretty intriguing and epic, indeed. So there's that. Yeah, and then immediately afterwards, Benny's like, "Oh, you know what? Let's go to Malibu. Let's go to Malibu campus right now to look for a spot for rural Mexico, because that's one of the locations in the short film, rural Mexico." And we've gone to everywhere. Like, we've had so many options, right? Topanga, Will Rogers Ranch, Griffith Park, Sierra Madre, Santa Clarita, the 3 ranches north of Santa Clarita, Blue Cloud, Diamond V, and that other thing. Professor Cruccio suggested the Malibu campus. So me, Benny, and Thomas in Thomas's Tesla at 11:30. We just zoomed off to Malibu. It took about 40 minutes to arrive there, and we were there. Which is fucking insane. It's so improvised. It's so random. I totally didn't plan to go to Malibu this morning, but we just went in the middle of a fucking class. And we missed lunchtime. We don't care. We can come back and we can have lunch ourselves. Because this is less of a class now. And I'm not bound by rules anymore. Like, it's, back in the days, a class is like everyone needs to show up. Everyone needs to know what they're doing, their assignments, their exams, and there's lunchtime, and you come back on time. But none of those rules apply anymore. So that's pretty crazy. So we came back at around 1:40. Oh yeah, we went to Malibu, and I sat in the backseat. And we arrived, and at first I was just like, I don't care at all. I was so dead in the inside, and because I'm so tired. We went into campus, and honestly it's quite nice, but really, Benny saw an empty lot of land beside the campus and was like, "Do you want to jump over the fence?" And I wasn't really ready to do it. If the fence is super low, I'm down, but like, it's kind of high. It's like a wall. It's not even a fence. It's a fucking wall. Benny just hopped over it, like climbed over it. And Benny's like, "I need one more person to take the photos." And Thomas is not gonna fucking do it. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I hopped over the wall, and it wasn't that bad, but the fall was really high, and it shook my spine a little bit. And then Thomas saw that both of us went, and Benny was like, "Thomas, come on." Thomas was like, "Fine." So Thomas also hopped over the wall. So all 3 of us were over the wall in this empty land, in this empty lot, and we're just trekking over these grass fields. And these grass, I forgot what are the name of these plants, like cattails, I forgot, but like these hooky badminton shaped like seeds, and they're all, because I'm wearing very furry pants and also shoes with a lot of holes and socks, so they just attach onto me. My shoes were completely covered in those seeds. And I have to constantly stop and pull out the seeds from my socks because it's piercing onto my skin. So it's pretty whack. Yeah, at the end, we left. We also went to the Malibu City Hall. We talked to a few people. Benny tried to contact the head of a deputy of public works in Malibu or something. And apparently it's lunchtime, and that prick is having fun in a luncheon downstairs. So Benny decided to leave a note, and his handwriting is awful. And I just asked him, "Do you want me to write it?" And he's like, "Sure." So I wrote the note for him upstairs at the city hall. So that's pretty cool. And Benny even joked like, wow, like non-native English speakers usually have really good handwriting. Yeah, anyways, also Bree wrote on the whiteboard today in that audition room, and she has really good handwriting in English. So that's that. Anyways, also apparently Bree is from Haiphong in Vietnam, so that's cool. Anyways, went back and the meeting's already going on. Like Professor Antonio and Drew were in the room, and I went down to grab lunch, and from the every table I got myself this Cal Lexico Caesar salad with chicken and this yogurt sauce, and it has rice and beans in it. It's like 600 and something calories, so that's pretty cool. And then I saw Crystal, the Chinese mom. And we talked a little while. She asked me a little bit about the admissions. She asked me a little bit about Film 33. That's that. And then I asked her where's Leslie, because I really want to know where she is. So actually, before I went to Malibu, I saw that in the far distance, on the other side of campus. So I was in the building and I was in the staircase, which is near the soundstage. And usually that staircase is right beside a window, and you can literally see the opposite side of the campus. And there are like these sitting areas. And then I saw a woman, or just a person, like with a hoodie, like with a red hoodie, and just like leaning against the center of the table. And it could have been a homeless person. And I thought it was kind of interesting. And I was also thinking about Leslie at the same time, but I didn't register that it could be her. Turns out it's her. She shows up with this sunglasses, and it's like a very typical Chinese teenager outfit. But at the same time, when she showed up with like vape smoke coming out of her mouth, and I waved at her, and she saw me, like, she didn't react at all, obviously. I just thought, damn, she's so cool. And earlier this morning after I woke up, the first thing I think about is Leslie. And I just thought, do I really like her? Like, because I'm not that excited to see her. But then when I saw Leslie today, and then she just walked away and we didn't say a word, it was like, god damn, she's so cool. Like, what the fuck? Why the fuck is she so cool? Anyway, went to Malibu, came back, I saw Crystal, and asked Crystal, where's Leslie? And Crystal's like, oh, Leslie's inside. Also, oh, and then before that, right, before we went into the audition room, me, Bree, Liam, Berkong, Liana, we just sat on the ground with Thomas too, outside of the conference room, the table read room, and then I saw Leslie show up from a far distance, and then disappearing. I guess she just went into the elevator shaft, like the elevator part of second floor. But yeah, so like she just reappears and disappears. And again, she also doesn't like wave at me or anything. She just doesn't do that. Which is so fucking cool. Like if it's Pepper would be like, or... But Leslie doesn't do it because she doesn't give a single shit. Oh yeah, I did say something to her after she first showed up. I asked her if the fish is still alive. And she said, yes, but she returned it to a pet store. And I said, okay, that's a good decision. That's good. Yeah. Okay, Malibu came back, talked to Crystal, went to the cafe and saw Liam and Leia talk. And that's very interesting because Leia is now, because both Leia and Liam are now the two biggest, I guess, two students who are targeted by Professor Crucio. Crucio hates them both, and both of them are blacklisted, essentially. And I just walked up to, and I don't want Leia to be like mad at me or think I'm suspicious or anything. So I walked up to them and I was like, wow, Leia, it's your turn to be blacklisted. And Liam's like, oh yeah, Enoch, you were blacklisted, but then not anymore. Like, I actually have something to do nowadays, which is kind of awesome. I don't think I was ever blacklisted. It's just that when Benny took UPM, I didn't really know what to do. So it was kind of like a void for me. Yeah, I talked to Leia a little bit because, Julia's going to be scripty. Julia's scripty this drill, and I spoke with Julia, and Julia said, oh, I'm scripty for this drill, but I don't know for next drill. But I'm pretty sure she will be scripty, like the official one. Yeah, Leia demoted herself to be PA. So Jonathan put Leia's grip. Crucio doesn't like it, and Leia's like, fuck it, I'll just be a PA. So Leia, 90% of the time, isn't even on the soundstage. She just stopped caring. Which is something I respect. Okay, great. Just don't even care about it. Yeah, so that's that. I did wander into the soundstage a couple times, and I did see Leslie just doing her thing. Apparently I overheard Crucio and Drew talk a little bit, and apparently Leslie's cam mopping. Which is, I mean, why is she so powerful? What the fuck? So yeah, that's that. At some point, I tried to walk to the soundstage to look for Leslie, and Leslie at the same time walked out of the soundstage through the same entrance. So we literally ran into each other and like stopped for a moment, but it was such a cool moment. It was just like a split second. She randomly popped up out of nowhere, and I was too tired to even react. And even if I wasn't tired, I wouldn't be like, whoa! I was just like, oh wow, jump scare. She was like, no, she didn't even do that. She was like, and then she continued walking. She was like, and I was like, wow, jump scare. And then without any elaboration, we just continued walking. And there's just like, I could have said nothing, and it would have been fine, because like we have this deep connection now already. And the fact that neither of us really like jumped or anything, it's like, oh man. Like I and Pepper aren't even that close. Like if I ran into Pepper that way, Pepper would be like, oh, you know, but like Leslie wouldn't. She's not that kind of girl, you know. Okay, what else? Yeah. Again, had this crazy meeting with Professor Antonio and Drew upstairs while eating that chicken salad. And this meeting went on for a while, basically trying to cramp all 28 scenes into 8 shooting days, which is absolutely fucking insane. And the fact that we're only allowed to have the house for 1 weekend out of the 2 weekends we're allowed to film is absolutely insane. It's basically impossible. We either do a lot of company moves or we cramp a lot of scenes into the 4 days. It's basically impossible. Benny really wants a 9th day, and then Antonio and Drew were like, no, we cannot add a 9th day. It has to stick with 8. And then we're just stuck between, okay, 4 plus 4. 4 days of Frank's house and Encino and 4 others. And then either that or 5 plus 3. 5 and Encino and 3. But then if we do 5, we have to do 5 consecutive days. How the hell do we do that? It's 2 weekends. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, repeat. So if we do 5 consecutive days, it means we need to either add a Wednesday or add a Monday afterwards, which ruins the schedule. And Drew's like, no, that's a terrible idea. Me and Benny spoke to Crucio later, and Crucio was like, no, that's possible. I mean, I appreciate that you spoke with Drew, but like run it by me first, because I'm on top of this. Okay. Also, Benny spent a good deal of time today calling the Holy Cross Catholic Church in South Central LA. And Elsie, the writer, was here. And then freaking Betsy showed up. Michelle was going to show up, but she didn't. But Betsy did, and it was kind of awkward. And Betsy talked about the writer's strike, which is happening right now, and how she's planning a writer's strike this Wednesday. Maybe I'll go, I don't know, but I'm cautious around her. So last night Michelle told me that Betsy said some shit about me, saying that she doesn't think I'm capable of things. And I asked Michelle, like, what does she mean? And Betsy means like both Film 33 and like my own short films. Betsy hasn't even seen my short films. What the hell do you know about me? What the hell do you know about writing and directing? Betsy's a producer type of girl. And even so, she hasn't produced that many short films. She has a business major. But yeah. So that's that. And then for a period of time, I saw Connor for a while. For a period of time, I just walked up and down and up and down and up and down. And I went to soundstage a little bit, went out a little bit. Jaden talked about how a car like swerved, like ran towards him, even though the driver saw him and it's like a hate crime. And then no else. And then there's script writing club, which I really wanted to just skip, but then I'm also too nice. Also, originally me and Leslie are going to watch Network by Sidney Lumet at the Aero Theater. Never mind, we're not doing that. Leslie apparently has helped out with the Film 31 after today's Film 33, so she can't go, even though she really wants to go. Alright, time now is 11:41. I just cleared all the storage space and I have 41 minutes left. Okay, let's continue. So where was I? Where did I leave off? Right, I watched the actress act a little bit. Cliff came into the room, came to soundstage to check out the performance a little bit. The Korean American dude Sean, he was so polite. He texted me, "Hey, I really wish I could come, but something came up. I'm so super sorry." And I'm like, "Bro, you don't have to be sorry. If you can't come, don't come. Like, come next week, you know? Like, no pressure, no rush, you know?" So that's that. But yeah, essentially there's that. And then not much else. So at the very end, it's wrap, and I went to I saw Birkin and Liana together, and they were like laughing at me because I just show up randomly from time to time. So that's pretty funny to them, and I play the part. Like, I like them laughing at me because they're not laughing at me for being silly. They're laughing at me because I'm quirky, and I think that's fine. But anyways, I walked to the soundstage, and like, I don't know, like, I think it's Leslie's attitude, but also her being powerful. Like, she acts like she's above all of us sometimes, and I just find that really cool. Like, that sassy attitude. Like, she's looked at the cart of equipment, and she saw Skylar, the first AD, and she's like, "Skylar, come here. I need to ask you something." So Skylar walked to Leslie. Like, if it was me, I would walk to the person who I want to talk to instead of like calling them to come to me. Like, come on, I never even think of that. Leslie did that, and Leslie's like, "Oh, do you know who was the sound person? Like, there's like missing equipment or whatever." And then Skylar's, "Oh, it's NJ, you know, I'll talk to her about it." Like, oh, like, Leslie's kind of fucking powerful. And then I walk up to Leslie, and I also find this kind of cool because now that I and Leslie are like kind of close, I just feel like I'm on the same playing field as she is. Even though she's probably more powerful than me, let's be honest here. So I just walk up to her and I'm just like, "So are we watching Network together later?" And she said no. She says she really wants to watch a movie, and I was like, "Me too," but she's like, "No, I can't." So that's that. That's unfortunate. And another reason why I want to go to watch Network is because I will go to Aero Theater, and I can directly speak to the Aero Theater people that we're going to film outside of the cinema. But earlier today, we made a decision that we're going to film the alleyway scene in one of the in Encino as well, and it's not going to be the theater anymore. So just any alleyway would freaking do. So there's that. Yeah. Which is kind of a shame. Another thing is like the flashback scenes, the rural Mexico. Now the most possible and nicest choice we have is literally like somewhere near Skylar's home in Torrance. Apparently there's a marshland near her place, like 5 minutes away, and she showed it to Cuchillo, and Cuchillo was like, "Oh yeah, that's nice, that could be interesting." So if Cuchillo said that's nice, then that's it. Then that's fucking it. That's the location we're going. That's it. So that's that. We're going to the freaking marshlands for rural Mexico, which means that thank God we don't need to go to Malibu or Santa Clarita or anything like that. So the fact that me, Benny, and Thomas went all the way to Malibu today pretty much is in vain. Like, it's for nothing. But I'm glad it happened because otherwise I would probably never visit the Malibu campus. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and then not much else, I guess. Yeah, I said my final goodbyes to Leslie. Leslie and Crystal speak Mandarin in front of me, and when they communicate Mandarin, it's a lot harder to decipher. I feel like when Leslie speaks to a general Chinese person, it's more like general Mandarin, and then when she speaks to another northern Chinese person, it's like really northern, tongue rolling kind of accent, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, there's another moment today where I just look at Leslie and she looks back at me. Like, there are all these like silly little moments. And then, okay, of course, I waited a while outside of soundstage. It was me, Bree, Tova, Jonathan, Benny, and we're just talking, we're just chatting. And I was so tired, I literally almost, not almost, but like I laid down on the bench, and Jonathan secretly took a photo of me. Yeah, and then we talked a little bit about everything. So apparently, Benny admitted to having sex. I know Benny's had sex before and in cars before, and I'm not even like surprised. I mean, the dude's actually, I think he's younger than me. But anyways, that's that. And then Jonathan said that one time, in Sidlali's car in the backseat, Sidlali and another guy had sex, and they didn't clean up afterwards, and there's cum on the backseat, and Jonathan was gonna sit on there, and Jonathan's like, are you really gonna make me sit on this cum? And Sidlali was like, you know, which is absolutely insane. Like, again, Los Angeles is just kind of fucked up, insane place, but then at the same time, not really. Everyone's boring and insane at the same time, I feel like, in LA. Yeah, that's that. Then we talked about music a little bit, because Jonathan talked about Frank Ocean, and I'm like, oh, Frank Ocean's Blonde is so good. And Tova's like, oh, you listen to Frank Ocean? I'm surprised, because, you know, I'm just some dude from Hong Kong. There's no way I listen to Frank Ocean. So, like, and Tova's like, wow, I'm so glad I met you. Like, you keep surprising me. So anyways, Thomas really wanted me to go upstairs with him to help set up the script writing club room, because we can't use a cafe anymore. So Thomas asked Antonio if he could use room 204, which Antonio rented for the entirety of the rest of the semester for special usage. That's that. And Thomas like, come on, go up. Come on, go. And I'm like, no, I literally, at that point, Cuccio was still here. So it was before Jonathan talked about the cum and the Frank Ocean. Cuccio was still here, and Tom was like, come on, go. And I'm like, no, I gotta talk to Cuccio. He's like, and it's almost, Thomas acts like an annoying mom. He's like, come. And I'm like, no, I gotta, this is more important. Cuccio, Professor Cuccio is right there. I need to talk to the guy. It's like, and then he's like, come. And he acts as if me talking to Professor Cuccio is like me being silly, and me going with Thomas is the right thing to do. Like his facial expression is like as if he's the right one, and I'm just joking. I'm not joking. So he went alone. I don't fucking care. But a little bit later, he said he needs help, so I went up there to help him. He needs help with the audio. That's like an excuse. I don't even know how to fix this. So at the end, the club meeting starts at room 204, and a lot of people showed up. Like 7 people showed up. Most of them are usuals. Betsy and Miles also joined. So Betsy asked if she wants to join, and I'm like, sure. And okay, that's a little cautious because Betsy's talking shit about me and Thomas, and Betsy's also kind of like on a power trip. She's on a rampage right now. Yeah, so, you know, this is a pretty weird moment. So we ended up spending like 40 minutes watching a couple videos of about the writer's strike, which is great and all, but I was so tired I almost fell asleep. And then we talked about this a little bit, and I had some really good, like, I gave some really good comments, I think. And then we read Thomas's script, which is huge. This is the first time we had to read the president of the club's script instead of like one of the club members, and like judge it. There's that. And we were gonna read 10 pages, but Betsy's like, you know what, let's read 3 pages, and then if it doesn't hook you, then it's failed. If it does, then we continue on. And that's bullshit. Like, I'm on Thomas' side. Like, usually I'm not on Thomas' side. Like, the dude's a fucking idiot. But this time it's like Betsy's just being very controlling and bossy. And because Betsy holds so much power, everyone's like, oh yeah, let's just read 3 pages. So we read 3 pages and we just stopped there and we just started commenting on his script, and Thomas was so fucking mad. But I gave some really good comments, I think. And then we even read Miles' script, but then again, we only read the first 3 pages, and it's kind of confusing because it's just 3 pages. We literally have nothing else. So that's that. But yeah, the club meeting ends, and then right before it ends, Betsy came up to me and Thomas and talked about, what the fuck is going on with Film 33 and the AS? It's not my fault. That's literally like not like my job. And Thomas is like, oh, you know, we're trying to we're trying to salvage it. Like, you know, we're gonna do a proposal again. And then Betsy's like, yeah, but like, Thomas, you're the line producer. And Thomas is like, I really don't care. And Betsy's like, what the fuck? And I really agree with Betsy that if Thomas is the line producer, Thomas should be the one who's worried about it. But then at the same time, Betsy's trying to like mess with Film 33 now. And I come off as the more rational one and a more knowledgeable one. Like, I know that, you know, I said, you know, oh, Birkin is planning to propose to receive 10K from AS instead of 21K. And Tom was like, really? I don't know that. And then Betsy asked what's the morale of the class right now. And then Tom was like, ask Enoch. Like, Enoch definitely knows more than me. So I'm the more knowledgeable one here. Like, I'm the player, and I can prove it to Betsy. So there's that. But yeah, not much else. And then Thomas drove me back home. Thomas is really pissed. Like, in the car, I told Thomas, and I don't like gossiping, but this is fun, right? I told Thomas, hey, Betsy's on a rampage. Betsy's on a power trip. We need to be careful of her. And Thomas was like, thank you for telling me, blah, blah, blah. And then that's it. I went to the bathroom, and then took a shower, and then made myself dinner. I don't know what to eat, so I decided to get creative. I have bread, 2 slices of bread, toasted it in the oven, added sour cream on top, and had a couple, like, turkey breast slices, and then 4 slices of bacon, orange bell pepper, and then the leftover salad kit and ranch sauce. Yeah, so that's a pretty good dinner, actually. Not that bad. Now I want to drink something. But yeah, you know, speaking of Leslie, I thought that my feeling for Leslie is waning, but really it's not. It's still that strong. And the thing is, I feel like in a parallel universe that I don't know Leslie. Leslie doesn't know me. We ended up not meeting each other. Leslie doesn't ask me for my help for her scene. And I ended up not being that close to her. But I still see her from time to time, and I still vaguely know who she is, and I hear rumors about her being crazy and stuff. I would be head over heels for her. She would be like the second coming of Mary. And I would be so infatuated with her. And the fact that I and her are a little closer now is just nice, you know. And I should be grateful for that. And it's just a miracle that even up close, I'm still like into her, which is just amazing. I asked Leslie, so are you gonna come tomorrow to watch a movie with me? And she's like, she's not sure. And I'm like, oh, of course you're not sure. Which is basically a no. And then she's like, no. I'm like, I really am not sure. And I'm like, okay. And then I also told Leslie oh, I have something to tell you, but I changed my mind. I'm not going to tell you today. And Leslie's like, is this the same topic as last week and then yesterday? Because I for the last few days I've been telling Leslie every single time I meet her, I have something to tell you. But I never told her what it is because I want to play with her a little bit. I want to tease her and see like if she you know like if I can get a reaction out of her. But also I want her to I want a good build up to what I'm about to say. So yeah, that's that. A little bit later, after I took a shower, I realized I forgot to bring back my umbrella. So I texted Leslie, and then the moment Leslie received, like, texted back, she's like, oh, sorry, I already left CMD. But I said, oh, it's okay. I'm sure, like, nobody will steal. Even if someone takes my umbrella, that person will give it back to me. Like, I just trust the people there so much because I just have so much connections with literally everyone. So, you know, might as well. So there's that. And not much else. Yeah. Ran into Cliff, ran into Chiara, the Italian woman, ran into Harrison. Just everyone. Andre, the Russian dude. He was in the computer lab. Yeah,